Minecraft is a big game full of big features, but when you have so many, some are just bound to be bigger than others. So this begs the question, how big can Minecraft get? Today, we'll look through some of Minecraft's largest and strangest features to hopefully answer this question and discover the most absurdly big things in the entire game. I hope you enjoy, and let's get straight into it. When you first spawn into your world, one of the first things you look out for are structures. A quick village right off the bat can improve your world by a ton. But what if you spawned into your world and found this? Oh wait, you thought that was a long village house? Sorry, I was facing the wrong way. This is a long village house. I mean, get a load of this thing. 146 blocks of straight wood foundation, climbing all the way up to Y225. That's just 30 blocks shy of the build limit. This house is incredible. But how the f did this happen? Well, at first, there was just a mountain. These types of extreme hills are actually pretty common in the Shattered Savanna Plateau biome. But then, the game's code decided that a village should also spawn here. Now, usually this wouldn't be a problem, but at the time in 1.12 when this seed existed, the code didn't take into account the Y level of the spawning location of the houses. So while almost all the village spawned on the ground normally, for the most part, one house tried to spawn all the way up here, on this tiny bit of floating rock. So the house generated, but there was one problem. It didn't have a foundation all the way to the ground. It was hanging. And since Minecraft clearly cares so much about structural integrity and things making sense, the game's code extended the foundation until it hit the ground, which just so happened to be 146 blocks later. Oops, and that's how this monstrosity was born. But is this gargantuan house really the largest structure out there, and what other bigger structures exist? You may be tempted to say woodland mansions, and you'd be kind of right. Woodland mansions are indeed massive. They're 58 blocks in width and 79 blocks in length, or 4,582 square meters altogether. Certainly big, but we can go bigger. Back in the in-dev versions of Minecraft, giant brick pyramids would randomly spawn in the middle of your world. Not only that, they were completely useless. No interior, no nothing. These behemoths measured 63 by 63 blocks wide, or 3969 square feet, just a bit smaller than the mansions. So, is that the biggest structure in Minecraft? Absolutely not. Consider this seed. While on the surface it may not seem too strange, as you head along the x-axis you notice something a bit weird. This mineshaft doesn't end. This seed has numbers in all the right places to generate what is known as an infinite mineshaft. This mineshaft stretches across the entire world at Z0 and won't stop until it reaches the world border. 16 blocks wide, but 60 million blocks long, this mineshaft has a surface area of 960 million blocks, making it the biggest structure in all of Minecraft. And you can bet I'm gonna spend my whole life exploring it. But structures aren't the only features of your world. Another thing you notice right away when you first spawn in is your biome. But how big can biomes get? A few 10,000 blocks? A few 100,000 blocks? Try a few million on for size. While forests take up just under 10% of your entire world, which looks something like this, they are by no means the biggest biome. Spawning into this seed may not look like anything special at first. You spawn in an ocean on a small island, but begin to pan out and you notice that this ocean is massive. In fact, this is one of the largest biomes ever discovered in Minecraft, if not the biggest. An incredible 13,483,600 block ocean in normal Minecraft. That's huge. For reference, from spawn, the nearest other biome isn't even land, it's a mushroom island. Granted, over 70 of these oceans could fit in the infinite mineshaft, but this is still huge. Also, ignoring the fact that there aren't even trees, it would take you a whole 2 minutes and 42 seconds of straight boat travel just to reach the nearest coast. But what if we looked deeper? Literally. Imagine you're in a cave, mining, and you find a vein of diamonds. Awesome. You find what? 1, 2, 3, 7 diamonds? That's pretty big, right? But what if you're mining coal? Usually people don't really care about coal when they're mining, myself included. And we've all had that one coal vein that just seems like it never ends, right? But picture this. You're mining, walking down a cave, and suddenly, you find it. The Grand Kahuna, the big daddy of coal veins, 107 blocks of coal ore in one absolutely massive vein. This thing is huge, perhaps the largest ore vein ever. You see, normally coal can only spawn in groups of 9 on average, so for it to spawn like this, is to find a vein of 72 diamonds. 72! So this begs the question, how the heck did this one happen? Well, in short, it can't happen. This world was actually generated in Minecraft 1.3, when generation for ores was just a wee bit different. Even then though, sites like this were incredibly rare. Nowadays, however, they're straight up impossible. Or are they? I'll leave you to find that one out. It's time for a quick mob comparison. What is the biggest scary thing in all of Minecraft? Well, if we go by hitboxes, the results are as follows. Our friend Steve is 1.8 blocks, zombies are 1.95 blocks, skeletons are 1.99 blocks, endermen are 2.9 blocks tall but get taller when they're mad, even passing their mama dragons 3 blocks at 3.25. Ghasts are 4 blocks tall, the giant zombie is 12 blocks tall, and the biggest scary thing is the very large percentage of my viewers that aren't actually subscribed. What are you waiting for? But for real, please subscribe, it helps a ton. Plants in this game are also surprisingly and scarily large. Your average spruce tree can grow to be about 8 blocks in height. That's not bad at all, but a max jungle tree can grow to be 31 blocks tall. Giant fungi in the nether can reach heights of 27 blocks. Again, scarily large. And in the end, naturally spawning chorus trees can reach 22 blocks. But that's assuming you don't replace the flowers. When chorus trees grow, they have a chance in doing one of 3 things. Either A, they extend their fruit upwards or to the side, B, they spawn in a whole other fruit, or C, the fruit pops and the tree stops growing off that branch. This process usually results in a limit of 22 blocks into the air, but if you replace the popped chorus fruit with regular ones, you can grow the tree further, all the way to the build height in fact. Like, look at this one. It's only 100 blocks tall but still looks absolutely massive. Imagine what one double its size would look like. Not as large, but perhaps even cooler, is this. A 23 block tall and naturally generating cactus. What? I thought they could only generate the 3 blocks tall. Well, yes, but actually no. It is true that cacti can only grow to be 3 blocks in height, and each cactus can only generate at a max height of 3 blocks. But then how the hell did this abomination spawn in? Well, when cacti generate, they first look for any spawnable block, namely sand, and decide to generate there. The game then decides how tall the cactus should be, anywhere from 1 to 3 blocks, and that's it. But sand isn't the only block cacti can be placed on. And do you know what other block cacti can be placed on that isn't sand? That's right, cactuses can spawn on other cactuses. So what happened here? Well, it begins to make sense now. The game randomly chose any location in the desert to spawn a cactus, and nothing new, it spawned here. What, a 3 block? Cool. The game then randomly searched the desert for any other spawnable locations, and on a random chance, found this spot again. Can cacti be placed on other cacti? You betcha! So it generated another, what, a 3 block? This continued on with this one location being randomly chosen over and over again, a minimum of 8 times. That's why these things are so rare. Out of every random place to spawn a cacti in the entire desert, this one block was picked at the very least 8 different times. So by no means is this the biggest thing in Minecraft, but certainly one of the coolest. Now, before we get into the final massive things in this game, let's look at a few small things. Very small things. The new mob, the axolotl, is a teensy-weensy 0.6 blocks tall. It's so adorable. But even smaller than that is the endermite, a puny 0.3 blocks tall. This village generated in 1.8 and has no houses, just a well and 2 farms. It's a mere 27 by 21 blocks or 567 blocks of land. Likewise, this super tiny mineshaft here is a mere 13 by 4 blocks, or 52, generating in the middle of the ocean. And finally, this miniature stronghold is adorable and contains just the staircase, a room, and the portal room, measuring 29 by 34 blocks, or just 986 square meters. But back to the big stuff. What about mountains? Well, perhaps one of the biggest mountains ever discovered is this one. Nicknamed BS244, as its name suggests, this mountain is stupidly enormous. In yet another shattered savanna plateau, it stretches all the way to Y239. That's just 17 blocks off of the build height. Certainly a huge spectacle to behold. But what if you took that mountain, stretched it out to the build height, made it a sort of cylinder shape, and then filled it up with water? Well then, you'd get a monolith. Back in Minecraft Alpha, bugs in the game's code would generate these huge, rare bulges that stretched all the way to the build limit. And sure, they are pretty large, but then picture this instead. You take a monolith, flatten one of its sides, stretch it 12 million blocks out, then drills holes into it like Swiss cheese. Well then, you would be left with the Farlands. Generating in Minecraft Beta at over 12 million blocks out in every direction are the Farlands, another example of code failing to form wacky terrain. This giant wall stretches all the way to the world border behind it and meets up with itself at the corners. Doing some simple math and you get the surface area of the Farlands is just about 3.4 quadrillion blocks, taking up over 95% of the entire Minecraft world. And even that isn't the end. Using world extension mods, you could theoretically go billions of blocks out and remove the world border from your Minecraft world, and reach the ultimate limit of Minecraft, the 64-bit floating point limit, or 1.8 times 10 to the 308 blocks out, or just over 2 to the 1024. Now that is truly massive. With all of that said, those are the biggest things in all of Minecraft. I hope you enjoy, and please do consider subscribing. Thank you so much, peace out, and have a good one.